It's my worst day ever in my life because I have food poisoning and we have to go on a plane. And I don't like either of those.
It was quite a rough morning for little Hannah.
We made it through check-in, which was a huge long line, and then they weighed our bags for the first time. So the stress of that situation and the fact that I was like, oh, we're gonna throw up. Like, we've been in the sun so hard. Chris was like, okay, you go. So I left. And Chris was like, the guide, he said it was like 16 combined weight, and we're only allowed 14 combined weight. He was like, oh, you realize it's only like 7 each kilograms. And Chris was like, yep. And he was like, oh, okay, well, they might weigh them at the gate. And then just let him leave. So we walked around the airport. Had to go through the big immigration process to get out of Vietnam, which was a long line. Then we had to go through security. And now we're here. And I'm just laying down. Person got me a twister, which cost $2 $50,000. Usually we pay like 15 or 20. So he really balled out for me. I feel better than I did this morning, but like hot, cold, fever. Like, I just want to go, but now all I have to do is sit here for like 4 hours. And then once we get to Chiang Mai, once we land, it doesn't matter if I throw up, doesn't matter how long it takes me to get out of the airport and to the hotel, because we're there. We made it through the flight, didn't have to waste our money on bitching, So when we lived in New Zealand, my dad used to go to this place called Lake Ferry. So often the people that work there would just leave his key card on the door. Look what's waiting for me. Right there, little package. I have too much in my hands to grab it. We're back in Thailand, which means back in prime 7-Eleven territory. So we're getting our classic spinach and ham and cheese, little double grilled cheese situation and 2 yogurts. I'm still not feeling good, so hopefully this is good on my tongue. I was feeling so not good last night. Kristen got me a grilled cheese and I didn't eat it, so you know my tongue was not feeling good. So we're here at one of the most famous wats in Chiang Mai, which is Doi Suthep. It is like between that and visiting the elephants, it is like the main thing to do in Chiang Mai. So that's what we're doing this morning. Like I said, I have food poisoning and I don't feel that good, but we got through it. At this point, the point where I'm recording this, we've gotten all the way through the wat with no accidents. So that's good. After this, we're heading down to Wat Pha Lat, and then we're gonna head back into town. There are 3 other wats in town that we want to see, and there are a couple of night markets and the night bazaar, which sound really cool. We don't really know what we're doing in Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai yet, and this whole food poisoning thing has thrown a big wrench in the plans. So we got to figure that out, and then we got to figure out how we're getting to Laos. So that's the main goal for our time in northern Thailand, and I feel sick, so I have to stop talking and keep my mouth closed, just in case.
So this is the white elephant, which is like the legend that created this temple. Apparently, white elephant was carrying something very important. Some say the shoulder bone of the Buddha, maybe something else. And they walked over to Chiang Mai and then looked at the mountain and walked all the way up to the mountain. And then they played 3 trumpets, and then it laid down and died. And that's why they built the temple here. You missed the iconic food poisoning elevator trip we just did by accident.
Yeah, I wasn't in the mood to record that because I just felt sick.
I was panicking too. I love those things. They're so funny.
second temple called Wat Umang. It's quite pretty big. There's a wildlife conservation center near this wat, and look, everything's just running free. There's a little like antelope maybe? I'm pretty sure. And there's some more antelopes just frolicking over there. We are back in Chiang Mai City. We got our tuk-tuk, got our thong sao. We negotiated this morning 600 baht, which is 22 Canadian dollars, and it took us to 2 temples and dropped us off from Chiang Mai City to 2 temples and dropped us off at the gate. So worked out great, and now we're going to the gate. And then I'm going home because I'm tired, and I'm gonna have a little yogurt maybe and some saltines. Because my tum, it's upset. Alright, we're at the gate to the old city. It's just this gate, and now that we've walked through it, we're back in the old city. We got swarmed by some kids wanting to practice their English when we first walked in. And it was so cute. They gave us little friendship bracelets, and then they tried to sell us on going to see their friends Thai boxing, which I didn't really want to go to because they said their friends were like 15 or 16. I don't really want to watch 15-year-olds box each other, but also I don't feel well, so it's currently 6:30 in the morning. We are up for our elephant tour the next day. Kristen's getting sick. I'm feeling a little bit better. Still not 100%. We have 2 muffins and a bottle of water. And we're very excited to go see the elephant sanctuary during our, it's just kind of ironic that the time that both of us are sick, like I am very sick and Kristen is getting very sick, we decide that we're going to do a Chiang Mai speedrun and do literally everything there is to do, including a 6:30 a.m. elephant tour. So that's what we're doing. We're going to into the wild elephant sanctuary, which is one of the very popular ethical elephant sanctuaries. There is no ratting, no chains. They're in the wild. There is bathing, which I've heard yes and no in terms of its ethics. But we're very excited to go and see these elephants and learn about them. now that we've fed them, we're heading off to the second phase, which is a jungle walk with them. Since they're wild, they just go wherever they want to go. They may or may not come. And our guide keeps saying something that I thought Taylor would really like about dealing with wild animals, is love but no trust. So you can love them and you can observe them and you can want to care for them, but they're still wild animals, so you need to expect them to behave like wild animals, which I thought Taylor might like, so I'm adding it in. You can see the little elephant footprints with their toes. We're done with the jungle hike. We're heading into the next segment, which is the swimming and bathing the elephants in the mud section. So we are in our bathing suits and I'm so excited. And you get to cuddle with the elephants. guide was telling us that the oldest elephant they have is 43 years old. The youngest one they have is 10. They have one that's 11 as well. And he was saying that all the elephants at the sanctuary are female elephants because the male elephants are just a little bit too hard to control in a safe way. One of the elephants is a rescue from Myanmar that they bought and brought over here. And he was saying that that elephant speaks 3 languages, Thai, Burmese, and one other one that I forget. And they all speak a little bit of English. So those elephants are just so smart. It was so fun getting to play with them. We are heading back to the treks now to go back to Chiang Mai. But we had so much fun getting to learn about the elephants here at Into the Wild Elephant Sanctuary in Chiang Mai. Our guide was also telling us about the impact that tourists have on the ethical treatment of elephants and animals everywhere in the world, but especially here in Thailand. Tourists are one of the main reasons why riding stopped being a part of the tourist activity. So it's a really good thing to think about in terms of the impact that you can have on society based off the decisions that you're making. The tour cost Kirsten and I each 1,700 baht, and it's a great way to support the elephants here in Thailand.
All right, everyone. So today, it's just me. Me and Hannah just finished at the elephant sanctuary, and she's a little tired, feeling a little sick, as you heard from before with the food poisoning. But there's tons of amazing wats here in Chiang Mai, Buddhist temples. And I still want to see them, and we want to leave tomorrow. So Hannah's laying in bed, and I am on a mission to see most of the famous. There's hundreds here, so I can't see them all, but I picked out about 10 of the most popular ones. Most popular, but also best ones, some underrated ones. And I'm gonna go see if I can check them all out. It's just 3:20 right now. I started at 3. They all close at 6. So it's gotta be quick, but it's a small little old city area. Should be okay. I'll keep you updated. So the Wat you just saw me at was Wat Chiang Mai. Just finished at that one. That one's very famous. It has 2 incredibly old, one 1,500 years old and one over 2,000 years old statues of the Buddha. That's very cool. It was very beautiful. 2 main buildings with tons and tons of amazing statues and pagodas inside. So you just saw those videos. Now we are heading to Wat Umong Mahathera Chan. And it's kind of in a big area with the 3 king statues and a lot of other Wats. So we're gonna do a bunch in a row right here. So just to show you how many temples there really are in Chiang Mai, just walking down this regular street, and what do you see poking over the top of the buildings? The tip of a little stupa from a Buddhist temple. That's the bell-looking things. They have them in almost all of them. So this one we just stumbled upon that I was just talking about is not Wat Umong Mathera Chan, which is where I'm going. It is Wat Pan Ping, but it's right beside Umong Mathera Chan. So let's head in quickly and see what it looks like. Try not to get hit by a car. The streets here are very peaceful, to be honest. Probably the easiest city to walk in we've been in so far in Asia. Behind me there's a nice little room with glass, tinted glass mosaics. Of course, there's a beautiful Buddha statue in it. There's a Naga statue right here, and you can see the stupa and the beautiful temple right behind me. This place is very not touristy. There's lots of local cars parked here. I haven't seen anyone, and the fact that a place like this can have no other tourists in it, this really goes to show how many amazing temples there are in Thailand. While we're at it here, give you a little Buddhist history lesson. I'm a bit more informed than Hannah on this one. This is a very common painting you'll see here in Thailand. And that is the Buddha and his giving his first Dharma talk to the 5 ascetics, which Right after he achieved enlightenment, he met up with the 5 people that he had been practicing asceticism with, which is just not eating, basically living on the bare minimum and struggling. And he gave them this speech about how to reach enlightenment. It's very, very famous. So if you see this one, now you know what it is. Okay, so we just left that Wat. We just left Wat Pen Ping. And look at this. So that's the exit I just took. And there's the entrance to Wat Umong Matherajan. Probably 10 meters away. Crazy. So this is Wat Umong Mahatherachan. Wat Umong Mahatherachan. And it is believed to be related to Wat Umong, which we saw yesterday. That was the tunnel Wat that we went to after Wat Soi Duthep, which was the mountaintop one. And this one seems to be related. They think that the principal abbot here, the one who became the main abbot, the main monk at Wat Umong, probably studied here and ordained here first, and that seems to be what the relation is. And as you can see in the clips here, there's also a brick tunnel pagoda just up here, which is very similar to the tunnel pagoda we saw at Wat Umong. So continuing the theme of just how many Wats there are, you cannot walk down one street without hitting one. Over here is the exit I just walked through out of Wat Umong Mahatherachan. And up here is the entrance to another giant beautiful Wat that I wasn't even planning on going to. But it's right here in my path, so I might as well. This Wat is this Wat is essentially a busy street. That I just showed you is the pathway between the buildings of the Wat. And I just walked down it as if it was a street to get to my next destination. I went in the Wat, of course, it was beautiful. But crazy. Also, there was an incredibly cheap food stand there. It's barely $1 for some good food. So now we're in Wat Inthakin. This one also kind of blends into the street a little, and there's just a bunch of buildings scattered around like a university campus, but a smaller one. Very beautiful though, as per usual. So the building behind me here seems to be where the novice monks live when they're studying to ordain as a monk. Very interesting. This one does feel like a university campus. Like you would come here to study Buddhism and learn and kind of have a Wat right down in the city. And yeah. So just an update on the time situation. I've seen what, maybe 8 Wats, 6 to 8 Wats already. It's not even 3:45 yet. And I was worried about seeing them all by 6, but my goodness, it's so close. Like this is the old city. It's a big square that we're staying in, and it's where most of the temples are. And they're so close together. Like I never even walk a full block to the next one, so I'll make it in no time. You could probably see 100 Wats in like 5 hours. Not even a full day in this city. Amazing. So we're here at the Three Kings Monument, which is a monument to the city's 3 legendary founders, the 3 kings who founded Chiang Mai. Beautiful. Just across the street we have a giant government building too. And this seems to be a popular square they're setting up. There's some food stalls and shops around that I think they're setting up for the night market. They seem to be setting up speakers and stuff for performance or maybe just for the festival. It's a Sunday, and I think on Sundays they do a big walking street. Very nice, very walkable place here in Chiang Mai. It's kind of a small little, the city center is a small little town. The expanded city is actually quite huge, shockingly huge, but the city center is very nice, walkable, trendy, modern, honestly. I could see a lot of expats living here. Okay, spotted a little sausage street food stand. Looks pretty good. We're gonna grab one to fuel up. All right, got ourselves this Northern Thai spicy sausage. 20 baht, just less than $1 Canadian. No, not just less, maybe 70 Canadian cents. Let's try it out. It's very hot. Tastes like curry, like a curry sausage. Quite delicious. Should help us get through these next blast of wats. All right, we're approaching Wat Phan Tao, one of the more famous ones. This is famous for being teak wood. Very old, very beautiful teak wood. And we're about to pull up. This one with the golden stupa with the fancy teak wood assembly hall behind it. And you saw that amazing giant Buddha with the Nagas coming down beside it. This one is really worth the hype. A very beautiful one. And the super old wood just looks great. Really unique. So as you can see, it's getting busy. People are setting up tents. So it definitely seems like they're setting up the walking street for today. I'm pretty sure this is the main walking street on Sundays, Sunday walking street. So, pretty cool. So I'm gonna take Hannah there when I'm done with my super Wat tour. So now we're in Wat Chedi Luang, which is one of the most famous ones by far and one of the biggest complexes you can see behind me. A big, big assembly hall. So, excited about this one. This one is interesting though. You have to pay 50 baht to enter, which is fine. $2 goes towards the maintenance. There's also some men-only temples, so good thing Hannah's not here. A little weird, but you know how old religions are sometimes. Okay, so this was perfect. We got our ticket for 50 baht, and I got to split my bills. I only had a 1,000 baht bill, and no one ever likes to split it on the street or at restaurants, so got to split that, paid 1,000 for 50 baht. Perfect. This tree here was planted in 1800, so 223 years ago. And if you wanted an explanation of why women can't enter this temple, they give a convenient one right here, so you can read it if you like. So unfortunately, it seems the main assembly hall is under construction, so can't go in there, but we'll go check out the giant ruins behind it, which look very nice, very Angkor Wat-esque. So here in Thailand, and any other Buddhist temple usually, they have all these donation bins where you can donate for specific things, typically either the year you were born or the day you were born. So those were the year ones you saw, all those stupas, and then these ones here are for the day you were born, the day of the week. And fun fact, Wednesday is split into daytime and nighttime. And here would be mine, Thursday. So here we have the giant ruins of a very ancient wat that used to be here. A very ancient temple used to be here. Very impressive. Reminds me of something you see in Rome. Very Italian. Just the ruins right in the middle of the city. Feels very much like Rome. It's also very similar to Angkor Wat, of course, but that's because it is the same. It was the same empire back in the day, so. One thing you always notice about these wats too is that they're very much like a lived-in, functional place. There's always people around doing things, doing regular everyday stuff. Like those people were just sorting tomatoes. The monks are around cleaning and doing their daily duties. Like, it's not just some tourist destination or some like museum. These are just functional places that exist to serve the society overall, and we just come visit them as well. It's very interesting how well used they are still. So inside this beautiful wooden temple behind me, it's just a small little wooden one with some beautiful pillars. There is a mummified monk, and not like the one we saw on Koh Samui that was clearly very old. This one is fairly recent. Like, looked like a human. Just looked like an old man sitting there meditating. Very surreal. And those are always so fascinating because, you know, if you came here and you were to see them on a typical day, you'd probably see them exactly like that, just sitting there meditating. So it's like they're still here, which is kind of the point. This is the Buddhist manuscript library and museum. Lots of very famous Buddhist relics, manuscripts in here, and I'm sure they're very important because this is a serious Buddhist city right here, Chiang Mai. So I'm sure they have stuff of the utmost importance. So the giant night market walking street for Sunday, the Sunday night walking street, is setting up all around me. It's getting busy already, but it's still, the sun hasn't set, so it hasn't started yet. We're on our way to Wat Phra Sing, and it's a big one, a very popular one in Chiang Mai, right near the center. And then I might go to one last one just outside of town, maybe stop at some random ones along the way, as you do, just stumbling upon them. But only two more major ones to go, and I'll head back and get Hannah, and we'll go walk through this nice market. So as you can see there, the markets just expand right into where the wats are. Like, the wats are just part of the streets of this city. So this is Chiang Mai. Busy walking streets, lots of tourists, lots of sellers, amidst tons and tons of amazing temples. Just you stumble past as you're walking through these crazy streets. I mean, that's a good description of this place. This is one of the highlights of Wat Phra Sing, is these three golden stupas right behind the main assembly hall. Very beautiful. here are the famed Naga balustrades, as our tuk-tuk tour guide in Siem Reap told us about many times. The Naga balustrades. Nagas are serpent-like beings from the one realm higher than humans. Alright, so fortunately the last one I was gonna go see the Silver Temple. I really wanted to see, but it's a 20-minute walk from here in the very opposite direction of where I want to go. And I know I should get back to Hannah so we can go down to the walking street. And I don't want to add a whole 40-45 minutes to my walking time right now after our big day. So I'm just gonna head back. If we see any cool wats along the way, I might stop in and see what they look like, but that's it for my destinations. Very successful. Saw definitely more than 10, some just mind-blowing, but there's just so many in Thailand that are world class. I mean, you just go from one, you know, could be the best temple you'd ever seen in your life anywhere else, and you just walk down the street and there's another one almost as good or better. Crazy. Temple tour was a success. Saw tons of amazing wats. Really happy with that. Did it in less than 2 hours. All those wats you just saw I did in less than 2 hours. The city is very beautiful and nice and small, so you can walk around it. So that was really fun. A good Chiang Mai experience, just walking through wat after wat after wat. So would recommend. Just come here and just walk around and you'll see tons of wats. So yeah, I'll see you next time with Hannah.
Alright, I'm back out with Kristen now. We are on the walking street, the Sunday walking street. And I joined him this time, and I already saw a stand that said donate for poor dogs. So I'm going to do that after. But Kristen said since it was the first one I saw, we can't just do the first thing we see. We're back in street food territory, and I got some spinach cheese balls at the street food market, and I'm very excited about it. Chris and I, we're so excited to be back in street food culture that we're just loading up. We're getting cookies too. And he puts them in the toaster. They have salted caramel and brownie. And we got dumplings too. I don't think I properly introduced the street market. This walking street is only on Sundays. We are only in Chiang Mai for 2 days. We just happened to be here, and we've been missing, like, the one thing we really love about Thailand is the street food markets. So we devoured our first cookie. This is brownie with a marshmallow. So I'm gonna try some. It's very good. It's so good.
We've been wanting cookies so badly, and we just couldn't find them because Vietnam is like the ultimate health central of the world. So they don't sell anything unhealthy. Thailand, whatever you want, they got it for 20 baht or less.